Hello again, welcome back. We're up to something today. There's our little camp setup out here at the LTVA. It was really nice yesterday. Some folks stopped by and hung out with us for a while. Some stopped by, just kind of stood around maybe for 15 minutes and chatted and a little hello, how are you sort of thing. And some others stopped by for pretty much for the afternoon, and we had a nice circle of chairs out here. And I sat a little bit, but I was kind of multitasking. Yeah, spent some time in here and tidied up some messes. It's probably 90% better, but we'll get on to something else about that here after a bit. But it was nice. They were mostly, my company was sitting over here, and I was here. We were still chatting it up, but I kind of multitasked, visiting and moving forward with this. People tend to understand and kind of know my thing. Oops. We got our morning walk in. Let's go check something inside here. In you go. What do I have here? A Tester's enamel paint set. I've had this for a while. I was gonna do something and I just never gotten around to it. But here we have some white. I got the white paint out. I got a little paintbrush out, and I know right now some of you already know what I'm going to use this for. Some of you already know. I got a couple of late birthday gifts yesterday. What did I get? Oh yeah. I feel bad. I forget her name. Sorry, but she was bored the other day and got to thinking. She likes to hand make stuff. She got bored, and then she thought of me in the event that she might run into me. And got this like a pot holder or I don't know, or like a hot mat to put a hot pan down, or just decorative or whatever. But you know, it's Christmas themed, got little Christmas trees on it, and I thought, how perfect. I'm gonna put it on my little power station here, and put my little Christmas tree on there, my little USB powered snowman. Nice. And this other piece, it's just another, like, this could be a pot holder or a hot pad. But you know, it goes with the colors. It brightens up the kitchen a little bit. It's kind of a nice. It's just nice. I like it. I appreciate that, and thank you again. What else did I get? Oh yeah, I got a lottery ticket. Little scratch off there. So it's you know, not one of the big ones, but you never know. I might get lucky with that. We might check that out later, and we might not. And oh, whoops, it's Sally gave that to me. Sally is also very interested in, wants to buy the Coachmen. I just, what would you do if somebody said, I want to buy a Coachmen off you, and here's money, and like they're ready to pull the trigger right then and there? Well, I just couldn't, you know, I just can't sell my home and what I do, run to Walmart and get a tent. You know, that'd be another process, and I'm just not ready, you know, probably for any money. Well, enough money. You know what I'm saying? It's I'd have to go. I'm not ready for another project like this was. I'd have to be able to like move into one that was all pretty much ready to go. I am not ready for another project like this Coachman has been, and I think you understand that. It's been a long year. All right, what are we going to get onto here? Oh, and one other thing happened yesterday. Somebody come up to hang out, visit for a little bit, and just happened to mention that the trailer lights on the back of her rig, and that was her car, the car she pulls behind her rig, the car, it has those auxiliary tail lights on there, and they're plugged into the system where when she's towing, she plugs it into her RV. Well, her dog chewed on the wires, and they were a mess. And I happen to be doing some wiring work up in the front of the Coachman. So I had my little wiring kit, you know, my wire strippers and crimpers and connectors out. And I mean, I have the tools right there. And she pulled up and her car's right there. I mean, it was almost too easy. So I used my last 4 connectors, butt end connectors, and fixed that for her. And now I'm out of connectors, but that's okay. I'll get more because I could use a couple today, but I got the big part of it done. Hang on. Let's go up here a minute. I don't know if any of you remember what this looked like. There's wires really drooping down, and a bunch of them. I've tidied them up, and for now we've made a lot of headway. Ignore this little mess. I just wrap it around here for now. Not even sure what it goes to. I'm gonna have to track that down. Little 12-volt connection there goes to this little fuse thing, and I'll have to figure out what the heck that did. We're supposed to do. Anyway, I could use a couple of. I used 4 of these type connectors, and to fix her trailer thing, and I could have used a couple more because some of these wires that are still dangling around here, they're long enough that, I mean, whoever ran them, they kind of weave. I know it's hard to see because of the sun. They kind of weaved them behind one thing and ahead of another, in the way they're, you know, through here. And really, to tidy it up, I need to like pull it out the whole way and just run it like behind everything, and then pull this other one out and run it behind everything. I mean, like, put all these wires, you know, these 2 and these 2, either all in front or all behind, so that I can put them in a nice little, like, one of these casings, and like one of these protective things, and, you know, run them all like as its own thing, and attach it neatly. But I'd have to either unhook it from the far end and pull it the whole way back through and refeed it through, or cut it. And I don't know where, in some of these, never mind, or cut it. I can just cut it. There's enough slack. I can just cut this connector out, you know, put it where I want on this end, put it where I want on that end, and reconnect it. And like I say, some of these are so long that I don't want to unconnect it and pull it the whole way through and have to feed it back through. It'd just be easier to cut it and reconnect it. See, some are in front of it, some are behind it, some are ahead or behind other things, and so I got this little remaining kind of a mess to deal with. But you know, I did what I could. I tidied it up some. Anyway, I think we'll get back to this other system here. Oh, the other thing I did was I went ahead and wired up. I got this working, these fans working. And these are factory equipped. These were not, I know in another video somewhere, somebody thought, well, those were like added on by a previous owner. No, these are all factory brackets. These are all, this is all wired in from the Bounder was equipped with these. The Tioga was equipped with these. As far as I know, every motorhome I've seen is, it comes factory equipped with those electric fans. Those were not add-ons, but I got them working. At least for now, I can turn them on with the toggle switch inside. And I'm still working on, and I kind of got these wires all untangled. They were all looped or entangled. It was a mess, but I at least got them wound up and out of the way for now, and kind of figured out what's what, and hooked. Got the one hooked up. I gotta change the end on that and hook the other one up, and we'll get back to this system where it's all the fans turn on and off automatically. That part of it, I'm getting close on that. But for at least for the time being, I can turn these on. You know, start running hot or for whatever reason, I can turn those on from inside. All right, let's go up here. Oh, and some of those wires, 2 of them wires are from this toggle switch that somebody added in. You know, I think the automatic system had a problem, and they just said, the heck with that, let's just do it manually instead of figuring it out. And that's fine. You know, like in an earlier video, when the temperature gauge, for any reason, if that starts getting hot, you know, I can turn these on manually. So let's go see them. Let's turn it on. I can hear them. All right. Here we are going. So that much does work. Just a matter of figuring out this last little bit about this, and I should be able to get them working automatically. When that other thermostat, not the main thermostat, engine cooling thermostat, there's a second thermostat. I know some of you have seen that, that activates those fans. Turn them back off. So 2 of those wires that were all ran through there, just any old which way, go to that. And the other one is for this brake controller. So somebody, you know, did add this on. I wanted to tow, I believe, a boat at one time with this. I found tune-up parts for a boat. I looked them up, they were for a boat motor, so I'm guessing they towed a boat with this. So the other couple of wires go up there, and they were run just as sloppily. Anyway, finally getting to track some of this stuff down. I've been meaning to take some time and give this some attention, and the reason is, well, this starting issue here in a couple of videos ago, being hard to start. You know, there's a timing issue. I got my timing light out, and that white paint is related to that job. And I'm sure maybe a couple more of you have that figured out now, what that's for, where that's going to go. But I wanted to start from the beginning. Okay, if it's hard to start, let's make sure we have good connections from the battery. So that's why I had the wiring tools out and different stuff. You know, the negative side, I know the sun is making things difficult here, but this is a new battery with 1,000 cranking amps at 32 degrees and 800 cranking amps at 0 degrees. So this is good. It's a good powerful battery. I only bought that a few months ago, but the ground one goes up here. So I took this off and cleaned the post and cleaned the connector, and put that all back on good and tight. So I know I have a good ground now. And then I follow the positive side down where it goes to that solenoid. Boy, this sun is making it a challenge, isn't it? But this solenoid, something goofy going on about this thing, but it's I think the one wire went over here, and then it picked up and went back to the starter on the other side of the solenoid. But this doesn't work. And what somebody had did was they just hooked them both to this one side. So so it's just like, this was like a function. Let's not get into that. This, like most vehicles, that starter, the wire from the battery just goes straight to the starter anyway. So as long as this is a good connection, it's just like any other vehicle. That's fine. So I took these off, made sure everything was clean, put that back on nice and tight. So, and there's a new starter on there too, and I'm sure that was a good connection. So this side of it's all good too, and just whatever this used to do, that it doesn't do anymore, and it's still not going to do. I don't know what it exactly what its function was, but we don't need it. Yeah, as long as we can start it up just like most any other vehicles. There's other coach related stuff that is not absolutely necessary. But anyway, so we got the starting connections out of the way. And what happens is, some of this I might be just chasing, a lot of these systems are 35 years old, so I want to get through things. Who knows when, and some of them connections were really cleaned up or whatever, they can get partly corroded. So if they are losing some of their contact, that affects it a little bit. And then of course if I get the timing off, and that affects it a little bit more. And if there's any other issues, to get any one of them, it might not be bad, but when they start accumulating, then the ability to start is getting they collectively you start having worse and worse starting problems. So that's why I want to get the cable, make sure the starter's getting what it needs, and we're going to take care of the timing, and hopefully she's starting better. And well, I know it already does start a little bit better, because I did them connections, and I turned that distributor back a little bit more from where I knew it used to be. So together, but I still want to get that timing nailed down to exactly where it's supposed to be. Then I can, you know, button that up. It's still kind of early. I don't know, it's 10 or 11. It's starting to warm up a little bit. It was a little cool here last night and this morning. I'm sure we're gonna have a few more people stop by today. A couple people here yesterday said, yeah, they're gonna come back, stop back by and hang out for a while today as well. So, and it'll probably be the same thing. I'll be multitasking. I'll be tinkering around and I'll be hanging out, and we'll just be, you know, shooting the breeze, as they say. So today I do need to get the get my table off of the engine cover, and get the engine cover off there, and get this set up here. Now it's hard for me to be 2 places at one time. Up here where I need to turn the distributor to get the timing right, and down underneath is the only place here where you have to use the timing light at. Somebody said they might stop over, or they would stop over and give me a hand, so one person can watch the timing mark with when I'm using that timing light. We'll check that out here in a minute. It's a little strobe light, and somebody else can slowly move the distributor while I can kind of watch that mark go back and forth, and when it's where it's supposed to be, that's it. We tighten the distributor down, lock her down, and hopefully things will be better. Here's another project I've been meaning to get to, is putting another coat of polyurethane on this table I built, and this little stand I built over here too, which we'll get back to that stand. It's actually turned out pretty okay. What do you see what's in that stand? But let's go ahead and get this off of here. I really just have a couple of screws holding that base down. All right, we're going the right way. Are we going the right way? No, we're not going the right way. So let's get this off of here. And because I knew I was going to be doing engine work and being in and out of here, who knows how many times, I only got a couple screws in it. Okay, we don't even have one on that one. It's in the 3 corners. That one, and that one. Okay, let's get this. Those are screwed down into this is a fiberglass cover underneath that carpeting. So those screws just go down into the fiberglass. Then the other thing I want to get done to this today too, while this cover's off, is I got that soundproof matting I want to put in here to quiet this thing down. Too much engine noise because the old matting's all deteriorated and missing. So I got some brand new stuff. But I do need to get this out of here. We need this out. Okay, come on out of here. Let's put this over here for now. Come on, let's get this out of here. All right. You think I'd have this little maneuver figured out? Which way? This way easier? Or this way easier? Ah, this way's easier. Look how faded that carpet is. All right. Just stick this over here too. Look how bad that sound deadening stuff. They only put it in this area anyway. Okay. That's all that's left of it now. So we're gonna get the rest of that out of there, and I'm gonna line a lot more of this in just that little area. We're gonna try to get that engine noise down a little bit. Stay. You stay. God, there's a big old stain on that. I might have some little bit of carpet cleaner. But I don't have a good vacuum to. I don't know. All right, so here's the beast, the big 454. Now this distributor is just one bolt, like a fork that sits over there where it goes down into the engine, that holds it down in place. And actually, it's not even. It's barely snug. I have to where, if I really try, if I really got to, I can adjust it. See, and then it'll stay till I'm like, maybe I need just a little bit more. Give it a try. It's not just free spinning loosely that it moves, while it's running or I'm driving. Kind of, but I want to loosen this up a little bit more. And what I want to do is, hang on, where's the goody stuff? Okay. What I want to do. Trouble is even when it's loose, it can still be jerky because it's got some old dirt and crud and stuff from just many years of it just sitting in one place. And when you do try to, like, when you get close, you need to be able to just really easily fine tune it. And what it is, even when that's loose, because it's kind of sticky, it kind of jerks, so it's hard to get that fine tune. So I want to loosen that up the rest of the way, get some WD-40 down in there, and work this so it's nice and easy to turn and be easier to fine tune. So I'll probably get it freed up and then re-snug that just slightly so it's touching a little bit. And we want this to be more easily adjustable. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this or not. We got some light here. Oh, okay, it's a kind of a funny angle down there. Let's see if we can see that. Where is it? Down under there. It's hard to, I can get the camera to see it, but then it's in the way of the light. You see that? Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll try something else. Maybe we'll try it. Maybe we can get light. Maybe we can get light somewhere else. That's a challenge. Oh, here we go. All right. Where is it? How am I gonna do this? Yeah, I certainly can't get my finger down in there. All this, I'm holding the light and holding the camera at the same time. That bolt is, no, it's not that one. It's the one over to the left. Where is it? There it is. It's hiding under there. See that one over on the left? Okay, that one right there. Right. Come on. You see it. All right. That's the one. You can probably see that little fork that kind of goes over to the left. So, one's on the near side, one's on the far side. So just gonna loosen that up a little bit, and I'll get some WD-40 sprayed around the whole base of this thing here. And look at that. That was genius. So, yeah, you can see here. Here's the shaft where it goes down in. So I want to get some WD-40 all, let it kind of soak in there, and work this whole thing back and forth a little bit, and then kind of work this back and forth a little bit and get that worked in. And I know I can get it back at about the same spot here. Doesn't have to be perfect right now just to get it restarted, but I can kind of judge the distance here, how far it is from this bracket. And I know I've had it like way back here, and it still runs. I've had it even further, it still runs, so I know it's far. And I've also had it a little bit too far this way. And in here seems to kind of be the sweet spot a little bit. And it gets problems up here, and I know it gets problems back here. And yeah, this is that vacuum advanced thing, and it does function, and there's good vacuum going to it. And there's brand new vacuum lines, I put those on. And there's no other vacuum leaks in here. It's all except that big one in the middle that's supposed to be there. All right, I got my wrench down in there. That's not too bad, actually. It's easy to. I've learned how to manipulate my hand around just right and reach in there and take care of that. And it's loosened up. If you're ever doing this yourself, you gotta make sure you can't have that bolt too loose. It's the gear on the bottom of the distributor is such that sitting there trying to time it in that fork, that bolt and that fork are too loose, while it's running, the distributor can actually pop up a little bit. And then because that gear is on a spline, you time it to where it throws it off. So when you push it back down, it's like then your timing mark moves. So it needs to be loose, but kind of, that's why I say it's got to be back down touching enough, maybe just not quite snug, but it needs to hold that. There can't be any play. You can't allow that to try to pop up. It's got to be just touching and just enough to hold it, but not so tight that it's keeping this. See. Oh, that's actually not too bad. Probably because I've already moved so many times. But I want to make sure it has full range. See, it was a little stiff back in this area. I don't think we need to go back that far, and it goes up that way nice. I think we're gonna be okay. We're still gonna just put a little bit of lube on it anyway. Whoa! Let's get it. Let's just soak it in there. Oh yeah. All that excess is just gonna run down the back of the engine and on top of the transmission, and That doesn't hurt anything. So, it feels good. Feels good. So I'm gonna kind of put it back about where I know the sweet spot is, and just run that bolt back down. I kind of loosen it up and give it an extra turn or two because I just want to make sure I could, get this moving nice and freely. So I'm just gonna snug that back down just a little bit till I feel just a slight resistance on it, and that way when we're adjusting it, we can make nice fine little adjustments, instead of it being stiff and it's like it's kind of jerky trying to move it and it's like, oh, it moved too far because it's sticky. You gotta try to back it off that little bit. It needs to be nice and smooth. Okay, that's what we're shooting for here. Then we're gonna go get the white paint out. All right, we're back. I did just snug that down and just like I said, just enough to hold it down, but I can still kind of move it smoothly. Yeah, I think that's gonna work out really good. So this part's prepped and ready to. We'll get the timing, the paint on there, the timing light out, hooked up, and get this thing started up and warmed up. Actually, then we'll come up here and adjust that and hopefully get our timing mark right where it needs to be. Now somewhere here, I have a old yoga mat that I found in a free pile, and I thought, man, that thing would be awesome to have something to lay down on the ground. Oh, maybe it's in the other compartment. Is it in there? No, it's not in there. Just junk in there. I need to clean that out and give it a reorganizing. I think it's back here. Let me put you down for just a minute. All right, I found it. I guess we're going to be recording with a little bit of generator noise in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. Hopefully you can still hear what's going on here, okay? All right, it's nothing fancy. It's just a thin blue. Hang on. Let's do that. I'm gonna get it folded out. I'm gonna go under here and see what's going on here. Okay, yeah, that's kind of needed, especially in these rocks. That wouldn't be real comfortable on the back, would it? All right, I'm gonna get my paintbrush, and my light. And let's go have a look. All right, let's look up underneath here on the front of the engine. There it is. Actually, I might not need that white paint after all. Most of these scales are have gotten really dirty and rusty, and they must have made this one out of aluminum or something, because it's not rusty. That's aluminum. Anyway, and the mark on so this is the harmonic balancer, and there's a mark on it which is I don't know if you'll be able to see it because it's up in there right now. I can kind of see it, but it's a line that goes across. It's scribed right across this. So when it comes around, it just looks like a line. It just goes across. And I can see it up there. And actually, when it comes down, oh, there you can see it. Okay, so that's easy enough to see. I really don't need to paint that. It's a very definitive line. The idea here is when it's running, that strobe light, which I forgot to bring down, because I have to connect it down, and believe it or not, we'll get to that. Anyway, the idea is 0 is right here. That's top dead center. Okay, in the numbers after are that is a little dirty down there, but we don't need this part of it because we don't want to be after top dead center. As that distributor is rotated, that line moves. Well, sitting here running, that strobe light picks up the number one, the spark going to the number one cylinder, and it strobes it. And you turn that distributor, and you turn this to set your time and get whatever degrees is desired. And the Coachmen, the 87454, the timing spec on it is to be set at 4 degrees before top dead center. So when it's running, is there too much of a glare on that? Is this better? All right. So the idea is that to get that when that's running, and the strobe is strobing, and that line should be when number one's firing, that I can adjust that a little bit this way, a little bit that way, and get that line right on about 4 degrees before top dead center. So yeah, so this is after. We went up here before, and because of reasons of just wear, engine wear and stuff. If I'm gonna be
something that is hard to get absolutely perfect. If I'm going to be off one way or the other a little bit, I'd rather be a little bit more than less. Now, I'm not talking any extreme. I don't want to be up to 8 or 10 or 12. I don't want to be too far, but if I'm aiming for 4, if I'm going to be off just a little bit, I would rather be, you know what, if we end up at 5 or 6, that's probably still good for it considering engine wear. Because because of reasons of timing chain wear, things get a little become a little bit retarded. Oh, there goes a side-by-side, making all kind of noise. So anyway, just kind of compensate. If you're gonna be off one way or the other, it's better to be off just a tad, maybe on the 5 to 6 side. Okay, so maybe we just nail 4 to 5 would be. If I hit 4 to 5, if I hit 5, I'd be like perfectly happy. That's where I kind of wanted to shoot for, I think. Okay, but I'm gonna get the timing light hooked up, and maybe we'll get on with this. All right. Now, of course, I've been down there before. I've looked at that, and I knew as timing marks go, I knew that scale was cleaner than most, but I thought I'm still going to put a white mark on it. Just being under there and being dark and fighting with a light, and you got your hands full when you're down there doing it. I thought it wouldn't hurt just to put a white mark on it anyway, just because. But I mean, it is so clean, and I'm just not going to. It's like I'll be able to see it. So we're gonna skip on the white paint. All right, so I got me a timing light here. It's not a high quality one. It's a pretty cheap one I got on Amazon. I do own a better one back in Pennsylvania. But, I mean, it's just a strobe light. It's gonna strobe. It's gonna do strobe things. It's gonna do what I need it to do. So we're gonna need some battery. Hook it up to the battery, and then slide this little guy over top the #1 spark plug and release it, and that'll pick up the spark from #1, and then it'll make things happen and stuff. Woo, we'll be strobing. So the trick is, and I've already confirmed this. Actually, these are actually numbered. All right, this is spark plug #1 coming off of here, and the firing order on this is that's so weird. Which way is it? It's was it 187-365? Oops, I missed that. It's not a 7, that's a 4. Oh, I mean, none of that matters. Okay, I know they're in the right order. Okay, I didn't get a couple mixed up, and we're not cross-firing, and nothing weird's going on there. I just need #1. #1's all the way up here. Oops. Let's get another perspective on that. Okay, it's a V8. We got 4 cylinders here. We got 4 cylinders here. So I think these are. I think #1 is up all the way up here on the left. So I'm going to verify that. And I did. There's markings on the intake manifold. There's #1 up here. They're all numbered accordingly. And I just want to make sure. Well, I will. This here's the plug wire all the way up front. There's this #1 spark plug, #1 spark plug wire. So we need to go clamp that from underneath somehow. Yeah, oh boy. Okay, it's a little bit tricky here. Hang on. Here's the tricky part. Yeah, these wires are only so long. I don't know if we got maybe 4 feet on that one, maybe another 3 or 4, maybe 3 on that one, and it's gonna go up because I gotta do this from underneath. Here's the thing: there's another timing mark on the top side that you can use, but these motorhomes stuff up top, it's blocked, you can't see it. If this motor was in a car or a pickup truck, you might be able to get to it, but the way this is set up, so they do put a secondary one that you can use, which means there's probably a second mark on a harmonic balance or 2. But anyway, we have to do it down here on this vehicle, and the battery's up in here. Right there's a battery, so hook that right there, and I think this will reach up into #1. I can lay down here and shoot that strobe up in there, and we should be able to get this going. I think I'm gonna put this up here before I warm it up. Once it's warmed up, it's gonna get a little bit hot. Exhaust manifolds are right there. I have to be careful where I put my wire. I don't want to melt the wire, so it'd be nice to put that up there while it's cold. Kind of route the wire over where it's safe, and then we'll get to the rest of this. Okay? You see that red thing up there? I don't know, can you see it? I fished it up through there. But there's that big tube straight ahead in the middle of the screen. That's stainless exhaust manifold. Remember they didn't use cast iron exhaust manifolds on this. They put Chevrolet put the stainless exhaust manifolds on it. So anyway, I fished a wire actually up that way, up through the outside of the frame and up behind another hose just to keep it away from that tube, because that tube gets really, really hot. I don't want a wire touching that. But it's just, I'll have to go back up top. I mean, it's up at the wire. It's just, I'm out of reach. And so I'm going to have to go up top and finish hooking it to the wire. But at least it's fed up there. I go hook it up to the wire. We'll get down here and I'll get it hooked up to the battery. That'll be easy in comparison. We're just going to go right up in there somewhere. We'll get there. Alright, I think I got it hooked up good. There it is, clamped on number 1. And I got the wire routed so it kind of goes down over that way. It's not in any danger of melting on a hot exhaust part or getting caught up in any of the V-belts, or the got both a V-belt and a serpentine belt. That's the power steering. That's the power steering belt, and that one goes to the alternator. That's about all we have in here going on. So man, there it is. There's that reminder. I need an OEM original fan so that I can get that spacer out of there, put that fan clutch in there. I do have the new fan clutch. A lot of you already seen that. A lot of you already know that I already have the new fan clutch. I just can't put it on until I have the OEM type fan because of the hole size in the front of these fans. It's anyway, I need the fan to go build it. That's that. So, all right. Somebody send me one or something. All right. All right. I do want to go ahead and take this air cleaner off, and I'm gonna get it out of the way because we do have a little. Actually, there's another little beast at play here. It's related but different. Okay. Just let me get this out of the way here, and something else I need. One more tool I need. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. I need a little screwdriver, and that's not for doing it's not for doing screwdriver things, but it's a perfect thing to plug this vacuum line. The vacuum line needs to be plugged while we're doing the timing process, but I'm gonna leave it on for now because I just want it on for when I start it up to get it warmed up. We'll let it warm up to go through that cycle, and I'll pull that vacuum line off and plug it with a screwdriver. This happens to be the right diameter. Plugs that really nicely, and we'll be getting close here. So, but I want to get this off for a second. All right, there's another issue here too. Is this choke? It has to do with it starting too, but not initially. The problem I'm addressing now is, of course, the timing needs to be right, just because it needs to be right. But it needs to start up, easier. It was bucking and it's just doing goofy stuff because this was not set right. That's one issue. But once it is started, well, it's a cold start, and I can keep it running. And this actually isn't as big as a problem. I just once it starts, I just kind of tickle the gas pedal a little bit just to keep it running. Once it starts warming up even a little bit, this is not an issue. So it's just a matter of saying, I'd like this to work properly so that I can just start it up and just let it do its thing. I don't have to sit there for the first 30 seconds, tickling the gas pedal to keep it running. And that's because this choke, I think because this connector is broken. And the Coachmen's always been this way. It's, and here's this big metal tab that this is supposed to connect onto. Okay, it used to slide on there, but now it's, I don't know why they have such a big metal tab on that. But this is broken, so it won't stay on. That's what's supposed to activate that choke and make the thing in there, do chokey things. So and even at that, I'd have to have had it on there before to hang on to it. It still doesn't seem like this operates like it should. And other components are involved here. There's that chokey thing, there's a chokey pull-off thing, and I've looked at these replacement parts are like 50, 60 bucks each. And I'm like, I'm not gonna diagnose this. I just don't know if I'm willing to diagnose this choke and be dumping $100 into it just for chokey things. I might just, for 15 bucks, I can just put a manual choke on it. It just hooks a cable, and you take this out, the little cable hooks up to it, and the little cable goes up here, and there's a little
pull knob or push knob, and that's the way all the old stuff used to be. Old vehicles, old trucks, old tractors. I know how to. So you just turn the choke on a little bit for first, you know, 10 or 15 seconds while it's running, and you can, as it warms up, you push it in a little bit more. As it warms up a little bit more, you push it in the rest of the way. I just might convert this to a manual choke in the end. But for right now, what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this. It's broken anyway. Okay, that's broken. There's no way to put that on there for it to stay. And I don't have missing parts to glue it together or anything. What I might do is cut and strip that wire and just wrap it around that thing and try to get it, make a decent connection. And maybe when I start it up cold, maybe these things will act like they want to work. And I don't know any way to put a. I don't know why they use that big giant connector. It's way too big for a standard like spade connector. I don't know, but for now I think I'm going to bare some wire, put it on there, see if we get any functionality out of that choke thing. Hang on, let's just try something. All right, I got that wire stripped and just wrapped around there. Now I'm going to turn a key on and see if that energizes that, and see if there's any motion out of that. If this acts like it's actually going to work, then I probably will somehow. I don't know if I'd have to solder something on that or actually make it a for real connection, but for now let's just twist it around there. I'll fix that if we get a little bit of action out of this. Let's see. Let's turn the key on to energize things. I don't know what that noise was. Oh, probably electric fuel pump. And then let me activate pull the throttle once, and this should. I kind of moved a little bit. Hang on a second. So, I don't know, but obviously there was some movement there relative to when it was warmed up, when I ran it last, and not being cold, but you know, when it's cold and you do the throttle thingy, those need to be shut. And it's cold enough, you know, it's like in the 30s this morning. It might be in the low 40s, but they should be set. And we're gonna use my Mr. Channel locks here. Grab this choke, and even though older ones have screws in here, you can loosen this up and turn this thing. This one has rivets, but they're not so tight that it can't be adjusted with a channel. Now that's like a Bakelite type plastic. Gotta be kind of gentle. I don't want to crack it or smash it, so I'm gonna grab that gently. I'm gonna try to move them a little bit more richer. Okay, let's see if that was enough. Let's redo this. Okay, well, they're still open a little bit, so that should help. I don't want to set it too rich. We're just gonna see if we get some functionality out of this. This I could find. I know that's not too rich. Okay, that's a yeah. Okay, don't worry, that's good for now. So now as it warms up, if things are working right, we should have a little bit of high idle. And as it warms up and tap the gas pedal, the high idle should come off, and the choke should open up some more. We've got a choke pull off over here. I'm pretty sure I've seen it work before. So let's see if it does its thing. If this whole mess just kind of wants to play nice with us, or if we're going to abort it and just go to a manual choke setup eventually. But I think we're about ready to start this up. I think. Gonna do a last minute checklist here. Make sure I don't have anything in the way down below. You know, get this thing started and warmed up. All right, it might be easier to get in the driver's seat from over here than from where I was. No, you get back. You get back. Oh, don't worry. And she will once that engine's running. She's like, I don't want anywhere close to that thing. Well, she'll be like, I'm gonna go back and lay on the bed. You better get back. All right, there's the old big block right there. We're gonna give her a couple. The old carburetors, when they're cold, you gotta give them a couple extra pumps of gas. I don't know if I set that rich enough, if it's gonna be much help. Or let's see what happens. Okay. I got my timing. That was loose. So I got it ballpark about where it was. Yeah, I think we're gonna be okay here. All right, let's see what happens. Oops, I'm gonna help it out a little bit more. A little more. Oh, it had a little backfire. What's going on with that? I don't think it should have backfired. I don't know. We're just gonna lean. Is everyone okay there? Alright, hang on. Hang on. Well, that's pretty scary. All right, let's try this again. I had to put it. It was a little too far retarded, like I suspected. I moved. It was doing a little backfire thingy there, doing backfiring stuff. So I kind of moved it back, advanced a little bit, and see if the choke's gonna play nice. Come on. I don't know if you caught that or not, but when it started, once the engine was making vacuum, it pulled the choke pull off thing, and it opened that, rudder ply out. Okay, so that part's working, and then once it warms up, you know, diesel carburetors are a little bit different than the fuel injection. It'll stay on this high idle until it gets pretty good and warmed up. And they usually won't come down off of that high idle cam until you actually tap the gas pedal. We're gonna let it warm up for a bit. If you tap that too soon, and it comes down off that high idle, then it idles slow, it wants to stall out. Okay, it's a weird warm-up process on the carburetor. But once it's we let it warm up for a bit, and we'll tap that gas pedal, and then it should idle down. That's if things are working like they're supposed to be, right? Well, it came down some. There's usually a couple of steps on that high idle cam, so it should warm up a little bit more. And then we'll tap that again, and it should come down to its normal operating temperature idle speed. Alright, it's been several minutes now. I definitely feel some nice warm. It's getting warmed up pretty nice. That temperature gauge is coming up pretty good. That's warm enough. This should kick down the whole way now. See, but it doesn't. So the choke pull off, or something goofy is going on there. So for right now, I'm going to back that back off because I know it'll drop down there. Alright, I had to fight with things for a little bit there. I think we're just definitely going to go through a manual choke. Something I ain't liking it. Like I said, I'm not gonna start replacing these components over here. They're pretty stinking expensive these days. I'd be happy maybe to find another carburetor and take ones off it. I mean, I'm just not gonna mess. Yeah, it's just not gonna mess. We're just gonna go to manual choke. Alright, let's try maybe get down below here. Get an initial idea of where that mark might be. Alright, I'm gonna open up all the windows here because believe me, that makes a good heater. It's nice and warm in here. So we're gonna open stuff up. We're gonna help her show up. So I think maybe I'll watch the timing mark and maybe he can get in here and do some turning, see if anything goes on here. Oops, I almost forgot. Let's do this. Hang on. I'll sit you down right here, okay? Hang on a minute. Hold on, don't fall down in there, you'll get burned. It's kinda hot down there. operating temperature. He's doing good. He's been on a little while now. And that's kind of about where it normally runs. Depending, if we're working it hard, it might get closer to that middle line. About where the bounder ran all the time too, had the same engine. Usually comfortably below that center line. Alright, that's what I found. Okay, I don't know if you can see this or not. Okay. Alright, what you're not seeing on the camera, it's weird, the frequency that the strobe light is strobing and the shutter speed on the camera are such that it looks like it's working and then it's not, and it's working and then it's not. I noticed, but when I'm watching it, I can see it is working continuously. What I'm not seeing is I don't see that timing mark anywhere, and I know we're in the ballpark, but there's no sign of any timing mark. I don't know. All right, I'm just gonna tell you that I know the timing is has to be close. The harmonic balancers are known to there's an inside piece, and then there's a rubber thing, and then there's an outside piece that has the timing mark on it. They have been known over time as that rubber to start going bad, that outside that has a mark on it, it's been known to kind of walk out of location, or even walk off the end and fall off and go flying. So that it could be the harmonic balancer has over time has kind of vibrated, and with the torque and the vibration and heat and cool cycles and that rubber getting goofy maybe over time, that outside has moved. So if that's the case, there's no way to time this thing with a timing light, period. So the alternate method is to use a vacuum gauge. Okay, and I have one here somewhere. I just happen to have a vacuum gauge. Then I thought to maybe they put the, remember I said about there's a timing mark on top that you can't get to, and you just need no way to see it. Oh, maybe if I used a mirror and stand on my head and just use 3 fingers, and next Wednesday, there's just no way to see that. Maybe they put the timing mark up there on some applications, but like on these motorhomes where you can't see that, they put the other one there. But there should have been a second mark on that harmonic balancer as well. If you got 2 scales, you should be able to use either one of them. So 2 scales, 2 timing marks. So that thing either walked, or just they used a harmonic balancer that didn't have the second one. I could figure out a way to look down in there somehow. Maybe that mark is close to that scale in the ballpark. I just don't know how to do that. I can just take my eyeball. Maybe I can stick a camera. Hang on. All right. I somehow, by standing on my head and my ear, my right elbow, got my head down in there like really close to that fan and turning belts and all that heat and everything. I managed to see the scale on the top side of that. We actually had to study it. We stuck my phone down there, took some pictures of it, and tried to know what I was looking at before I really got down in there like that. And the timing light, the mark was right there in the ballpark. I just had to bump, little tweaking, look at it again, little tweak, a little bit more, tweak it, and I got it right where I want it, and right where it's gonna stay. You're gonna tighten it down and call it done. No run over, at least not today. All right, I've tightened that clamp back down. That's where she's gonna live. I got that just right. That's where I think that's just where it's gonna have to be. It's I'm satisfied with that. And so if it's still hard to start, then I'm gonna move on. And it seems to run good and shut off right. It's not overrunning. Let me reclaim this. I got my screwdriver. Let's pull my shut it off. Just got my screwdriver back out. Out of my vacuum hose. We're gonna get that plug back in here, and then you know, in there. Now, if it's still kind of hard starting, we're gonna look elsewhere. We're gonna see if that's just not a kind of one of them Chinese starters. Maybe I need to somehow find a good quality starter. Maybe it's just that starter just doesn't, even though it's new, maybe it's just kind of a, you know, bottom shelf, we'll call it. Maybe I need to put a top shelf for a starter for such an engine with all these cubic inches. Pretty big cubic inch engine. I don't think a bottom shelf starter or bottom shelf in terms of quality go. That might be part of the issue. I might have been doing all this chasing when maybe that was kind of the culprit all along. But we're getting things, we're backing up, we're getting things dialed in, and we'll figure out what to do from here. All right, here's where we're at, and we do have to maybe allow for, you know, wear and tear and things in the engine. Sometimes you gotta give these little special tune, and you know, we're barely in the green. We played with the I did loosen up the distributor again, which, you know, really needs to be in the green mode, and we're barely in there. See, this is late timing, and we were just in that where we were set at. I did loosen it back up again. Where we were set at, the best of my absolute ability on that timing marker, where it needed to be at 4 degrees. Again, that's a plot. There's no way I can get a camera down it. Hang on. It still showed to be a little bit late timing. So I've just moved this. I loosened it back up, and I just moved this, tweaked it a little this way, little bit. You got it to at least it floats into the green there a little bit. So it's easy. It just seems like if you advance it even just a little bit more, it just really starts becoming harder and harder. It's like that's the sweet spot. That's as good as it gets. And it runs good. It has really good throttle response. It really seems to like that. And that will settle down just that little bit more slowly as it kind of settles into its idle. And that's about where it'll stabilize at. Alright. So that's as good as it's going to get. That is getting the final tighten down. We're done. Any other issues? If I got to put a high performance, which they are available, high performance, high torque starter motor in it, that's what we're going to have to do. Because this is about as good as it gets. Bella? Bella, here's my helpers today. Bella and George and Tim are giving me a hand with a few things today. We did finally getting this sound deadening stuff installed here. It was without buying a huge oversized piece, 40 by 40. Seems to be covering it this way completely, coming up about 2 to 3 inches short on either side, but it's gonna have excess down here on these corners. I'm gonna cut off, and that'll give me a little bit of patchwork. It's really self-adhesive on the backside. It's really tacky, so hopefully that's going to stick real nice, and that should quiet the engine compartment down a bit. A little bit more tolerable going down the road. That's what we're aiming for. I'm going to get this finished up, and hopefully in the next video, when we got the dash cam going and we're rolling down the road, I'll probably be able to hear myself think a little bit more, and you'll be able to hear me speak a little bit better. So we'll see how that goes. Oops, must hit the ground. Get rock sticking here. All right, I need to make the bend here. That's all right. We're on track pretty good here. Now I'm gonna go up to the other side and come down to this corner, and we should be there.
Okay.
It's gonna work out pretty okay. Let me just pick up where I was then. So Tim was my other set of eyes and ears doing the timing work. And yeah, Tim stopped by and gonna grab a hand here. I'll tell you what, having an extra set of hands and eyes and ears around.
You bet.
Wish it happened more often. I'm a little hard to catch up with sometimes. So let me press this all around here. Yeah,
Maybe a little trimming.
yeah. As long as that goes down, this is the back. This actually goes down on the carpet side. That's as long as that's above.
Sure.
That's gonna be fine. That's gonna be trimmed close enough.
Good deal.
See, this runs up above that a little bit. It's a little jagged, but this is ideal, like here, just below it. But this is not gonna hurt this thing. So, gonna work on see not getting the these pieces here trimmed up and those stuck on.
Got plenty here for that.
But and Jill, she's
She's a rescue from the pound here in
Yuma.
yeah, no, in
Hey Jill. Hello.
Parker.
Hello. Oh.
Yeah, I've had her for a couple months.
Okay.
Great dog.
What do you think, Bella? She okay? She must be. Bella's just fine with us. All right.
It's like semen carpet. Look at that.
Yeah. You don't know how glad I am to be getting this part done. Another one of them jobs where I'll get to it. There's always other pressing issues. Yeah. We're closer. We're about there, huh?
Yeah.
And a lot of these jobs are just quick little.
Right. Well, I've got a whole
Yeah.
list of things to do to mine, that's for sure. But I got time.
But you're over here loafing.
Well, no, I got,
Huh?
I got several months before I'm.
That's right. You're staying a while.
Yep.
You gonna wait till the last week,
Mm-hmm.
then cram?
Probably. That's normally how I do it. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, could have done that a little bit neater, but
You're not going to see it.
I gotta watch because actually, yeah, the one side, the way that it is on the inside of the Coachmen, there's an upright that comes up so far.
Oh, okay.
So this is gonna actually shift this over a little bit, but there should be clearance on the other side. I'm gonna have to be mindful of that. I might end up. Actually, it's gonna be double walled on the one side. Because the one side just comes down on the floor.
Right.
You know, the engine compartment is just a cutout on the floor.
Could you spread
and
that
the other
out
side
a
comes
little
up.
bit, you think?
Oh, it probably has some room to flex.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But then I'm not going to force it if it acts
Sure.
like it's going to go like this.
Sure.
So I might end up getting it down there somehow and tracing that section out, and end up removing some of this anyway if there's an interference problem. But I'll cross that bridge when
you get there.
Yeah, when we get there. All right, where are we at here? What are we doing?
That's,
here?
that's the one you want right there. Yeah.
All right, let's get the center kind of down here. And that's looking good.
Okay. Like you say, once
This is already started over here, Phil. Just about the right spot.
there you go. Well, you know the thing too. Once this gets heated up in there, this glue is going to soften even more and stick even more. I bet.
Yeah, we'll leave this out in the sun for a while. Got some sun arm.
Yeah.
Although it's reflective, it might not be but it'll still have some effect on
Right.
it.
But like I say, the engine heat, I think,
Yeah.
will soften it a lot too once you're driving.
little bit more.
You come up. You're going too deep quick. Yeah. There you go.
Come out then. It's alright. It's, you know,
Done.
it's about 98.4% better, more than I had.
I think it's going to surprise you.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's gonna, we're gonna.
Do you want to save any of this, Dave? I put the paper back on it. In case it.
I don't know. Maybe.
Grab that paper.
Maybe a chunk of it, not all of it.
The biggest piece. Oh, about the same. There you go.
Yeah, just maybe grab.
That
Better
piece.
piece of paper.
Yeah. Oops.
We don't be using that anymore.
Well, this one you want to keep.
Oh, I thought this was the one we picked.
Oh, that is now.
It is. Yeah, we just. That's the one we're gonna.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, really, you might find another use for this little piece somewhere under the dash there somewhere.
Yeah, actually, this foil is feeling pretty warm.
Yeah.
So it actually will help. That's just gonna transfer into. Well, it is insulation. That probably does have an R value.
Alright.
I mean, engine heat would do it, but I don't know how much the sun's gonna.
Hey Jill, how you doing, girl? You want to bail out? Girl.
So I left it sitting here and gonna kick it. Almost kicked it across the parking lot.
Huh?
And it's still recording. Are we still recording? 4. Yeah, we are. Yeah, I didn't mean to record any of that. I'll probably have to review that. Maybe use some of it. Maybe edit some of it out. Was I swearing?
No, I don't think we did.
Did I say? There's a snip for sure.
Yeah.
We were just
Gotta keep
talking
it
about. You know, I'm usually kind of fussy and do a pretty neat job, but we just kind of slapped it. I mean, it came out pretty good, but some of the corners I probably should have got in better before we made. Anyway, probably the better way to do this would have been taking that piece and laid it out nice flat surface and got a straight edge and slit it right down the middle perfectly, and then work from the center out and made it form, you know, those pieces, and then cut the ends off nice and neatly, and then, you know, same thing, just mirror that, work from the inside out and form that and trim that nice and neatly. But hopefully that's going to be, I'm sure that's going to work nice. The question is whether we got enough contact everywhere it's going to hold up and stick under heat. You know, it was only, you think, like 20 or 30 bucks for that piece. So, you know, if I got to redo it down the road, you know, next summer when I have more time, it could happen.
Good thing
Maybe.
you filmed that. What was that motion like this here?
Yeah, that.
That motion you had?
Yeah.